the business delegation we have been talking about, he's traveling with a huge business delegation. Sandeep continues to be with us. This is sector specific. In fact, B2B interactions in energy, fertilizers, pharma, IT, agriculture. These are meant to give substance to the diversification beyond guns and oil. So, Sandeep, the focus certainly is on pharma, it's on IT, it is on agriculture. India and Russia are looking at $100 billion trade by 2030.
Absolutely, Maria. And the two pillars of what we were talking about, the two pillars of the India-Russia relationship are energy and arms. And the challenge here for both countries is that you have to diversify beyond these. If you want a long-term permanent relationship, a lasting relationship, you need to go to other sectors. And that is where pharma comes in, where electronics, mining, possibly even shipbuilding, which is another big thrust area between India and Russia. All of these sectors come in, and that is going to be the key focus area for India and Russia today, to try and take this relationship beyond the traditional energy and defense, which we are very good at. We're strong. We have very, very robust relations, especially with defense. 60 years of a defense partnership that has produced many fantastic war-winning weaponry. Energy, Russia is a very dependable source of oil, natural gas. But now the challenge if you want to get to $100 billion in bilateral trade, you have to diversify, you have to get to new areas. And as President Putin himself has mentioned, that India's automobile prowess, the fact that we have created an entire automobile ecosystem, is something that he has repeatedly mentioned. He has admired India for its Atmanirbhar automobile industry. Those are areas that we would look at. And shipbuilding is another very big area. In addition to pharmaceuticals, shipbuilding is where India and Russia want to work together. India has, thanks to the crisis in the Red Sea, woken up to the fact that you cannot be a major economic power if you do not have your own merchant shipping fleet. And currently, India accounts for just 0.5% of global shipbuilding and ship operations. They want to increase that.
A country, Sandeep, which historically, which civilizationally was a seafaring nation, which since time immemorial had trade links with countries as far as Egypt, with West Asia. 10th century relics have been found in the Volga River region. So it just goes on to show somewhere down the line that knowledge was lost. Now with Russian assistance, some of that knowledge is being regained, especially with the speed of high technology shipbuilding, Sandeep.
Absolutely, Gaurav. And you don't have to look further than India's parliament to understand the two symbols of state. That is the Chola Sengol that rests there in parliament, and the Ashokan Dharma Chakra. These are two symbols of two great empires which have ruled India. The Mauryan Empire was, of course, a land empire, but the Chola Empire, which you mentioned, it's a thalassocracy. It was an oceanic empire, and the Chola Empire's ships traveled all the way far to Cambodia. They took trade, commerce, Indian culture. And if India has to rediscover its roots to become a great power again, it needs to build its own ships. And that is where the collaboration, the cooperation with Russia comes in. We are hearing talks of a possible $750 million deal to build commercial ships, Russian ships in Indian shipyards, for Russia to train Indian shipbuilders to make these commercial ships. We've had an excellent cooperation with Russia over half a century of building military vessels, submarines, surface ships, aircraft carriers. Now the challenge for us, Gaurav, as India becomes a great power, an economic power, is to tap in Russian expertise in shipbuilding, commercial shipbuilding, especially in Arctic shipbuilding, icebreakers and all of that. If India is to travel through the Arctic in the next few decades, we will need Russian assistance.
That will be the shortest, absolutely shortest trade route, and that is where you need to have both your military might and your economic might on display. Shivani, the Tri-Services Guard of Honor, do we have details of the Tri-Services Guard of Honor that will be presented? We are looking at images of President Draupadi Murmu flanked by India's ambassador to Russia, and we're told, and of course I can also see Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal. We can see several ambassadors and diplomats in these images. Talking to the president. Shivani, take us through what's happening over the next several minutes.
Gaurav, the Rashtrapati Bhavan is all set for the grand ceremonial welcome for President Putin, and here the security protocol is at place. The cavalcade is just arriving out there. We are trying to place these vehicles that are entering Rashtrapati Bhavan now. These are, of course, the images of the security arrangements here, and we assume that now this carcade, which we see entering these cars that are of President Putin's carcade that have already started from ITC. And when we talk about the arrangement, this happens to be one of the highest honors that are arranged for a state dignitary. And when it comes to President Putin, this is of course special, as we see the special bonhomie between Prime Minister Narendra Modi, President Putin, and also the relationship heart-to-heart connect between India and Russia. So this is a function that will be showcasing the strength, the might, the dignitaries out there, the delegations, more than 120 delegates who are traveling along with President Putin. They will be present there. Prime Minister is already present to welcome President Putin out there. And we'll also have the 21-gun salute, the highest military honor to welcome the dignitary out there. So in a few minutes from now, we are expecting President Putin to be at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. We'll be seeing his carcade moving through this particular Kartavya Path area where we are present right now, and then he will straight away go to the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, where the Tri-Services Guard of Honor will be inspected by him. We'll also see the dignitaries. He will be meeting President, of course, and once again he'll return to the Rashtrapati Bhavan in the evening for the special dinner that has been arranged for the dignitaries. So this is the formal engagement for the day that has already started, with all the security protocols at place, and the wait is they are waiting for President Putin to enter the Rashtrapati Bhavan.